So next
Yeah.
week we have the Wells Fargo. Rory is officially in. He's already missed two designated events, the RBC Heritage and the Tournament of Champions to start this year. So he's already lost on $3 million from his player impact, bonus. So that's gone. I don't think
Hmm.
I'm sure they would continue to claw back more money if he was missing more events. However, we have Scheffler and Rahm that are already out. This will be their first event to miss in the designated events. I've always loved the Wells Fargo. The course is very memorable. Number 18 coming up there. That drive on 18 is
Right.
always seems to be, in play. And, that little creek that runs down the side of the fairway there seems to be an issue. And then kind of getting it close on your approach there. So, iconic course. I've loved the Wells Fargo even before the days of designated events. What are your thoughts on this coming
Agreed.
tournament? You mentioned before we hopped on about Tony Finau was supposed to be in the field. We'll see if that still holds and if he'll make the trip from Mexico to North Carolina this week. But what are your thoughts on the Wells Fargo?
Um, Love the setup of Quail Hollow. Always have. Is just like the same as you. Seen a lot of iconic winning. I mean, Rory's won there three times. Ricky Fowler's won out there finally. So I think a lot of like fun guys win it. I mean, anybody can win it out there. So it's not like, you got to be a big hitter or you got to be able to dot your I's and cross the T's and stuff like that. Feels like, an eclectic winner can win out there. And that's always fun in itself. And just like you said, I mean, shoot, Rory crossed over the hazard and had to play out almost straight right and still won it with like a bogey 1 year. So I think that 18th fairway is always a fun place to end it. And then of course, it being like still like a 440, 450-yard par four, you still got to hit a nice little iron shot in there too. So I always like the Wells
Mhm.
Fargo. They made it a heightened event, so always going to put a little bit more pressure on them. And I mean, I have no complaints. And just like we were talking about pre show, the run of good tournaments in a row, the it's just insane at this moment. And you just gotta take it with a. You just gotta just all. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just so excited and giddy about the next few weeks. There's just so much good golf about to be coming on.
Yeah, we really have to be appreciative. We have, the Wells Fargo. This week again, just the big names were there. Wells Fargo, Byron Nelson, and Dallas, which always attracts, some decent players to it. Even though it's before a major, we'll have the PGA Championship after that. I hate that they moved, where the Byron Nelson was played. They had a quirky course, so they played it in before, but players came out to that
Trinity.
course. No, no, no. Before the Trinity.
I'm talking about Las
Um,
Colinas, I guess.
yeah, Las Colinas Country Club, I believe it
Yeah.
was. But
Hmm.
no, that's where the LPGA plays. But either way,
Oh, okay.
there was a good the course brought people out. I think the weather gets players out. Now that it's the week before the PGA Championship, you're probably going to have some folks at least playing it as a warm up tournament.
Yeah.
The current venue is super high scoring. The following week after the PGA is no slouch. We have the Charles Schwab at the Colonial and then the Memorial. So, I mean, we're going to have 5 straight weeks of just really quality golf that you can tune into, with some schedule shifting going around in the last couple of years. But yeah,
Yeah.
5 straight weeks that you're just going to want to tune into. And then we go up to Canada. So yeah, we just really need to count our blessings and be appreciative of the schedule that golf has
Absolutely,
provided.
bro.
And if we continue going this way, the PGA does not have anything to worry about. Super shout out, no shade. Out over on Live, they played 2 weeks in a row. We had a discussion about this,
Yeah.
um, a couple weeks ago with one of their younger players saying that they would love to. I think it was Jed Morgan would love to play more consecutive weeks, more meaningful golf. They taken this week off, and then they're up to Tulsa, which I'm trying to figure out how I can get myself up to Tulsa the weekend of Mother's
Oh, that's
Day
right.
weekend. Yeah. So I might try to sneak up there on Friday, see around the first round of coverage there. But they played in Singapore, another overseas, venture. Right after being in Australia, they had some really good crowds. It seemed like but that's
Hmm.
probably part of their global reach in these places, not necessarily seeing golf all the time. So, kind of as we talked about here,
Definitely.
you have to be appreciative for what comes your way. So it looks like these venues outside of the U.S. are really appreciative of some version of high level pro golf. And Taylor Gooch won for two weeks in a row. So in the last 2 weeks, he
Okay.
has netted or grossed $8 million off of the Live Tour. So shout
That's
out
a
to him.
win. Yeah.
It's a win for
No,
him.
no world,
I think there was. Go ahead.
no world golf ranking points, but 8 milli.
Hey,
You know,
8 million in the bank account.
8 million in the bank.
Apparently, I didn't really get a chance to catch up on this article about him being in the U.S. Open, not being in the U.S. Open due to some changes in the qualification standards. He will be
Hmm.
in the PGA Championship. Taylor Gooch will be. So we'll see how he performs when he gets back to the big stage and he's playing with the big boys again and not,
Yep.
beating Sergio Garcia on the weekend. So